A15 bus routes. So you're giving a array routes representing the bus route. Basically, let me just, instead of reading this, let me just explain to you what it is. Basically, they give you routes array, right? And then you have 127. This is bus 0, and then this is bus 1's output. Every single number inside of this bus is the bus number, is the yeah, it's the bus number. So basically, uh, you can go to bus traverse in the sequence. So you basically need to they give you a source, a number here, and you basically need to find out how many stops, bus stops, it takes you to go to the target. So when it gives you bus 1, when the bus 127, right? And then for the bus 127, the bus will continuously go from 1 to 7 and 7 to 1. It's basically a cycle, and it will goes on and on forever. So it's like a real bus. So when you go, if the source node is 1, then the target node is 6. You're going to try to take the bus, the source, you want to take the bus 0, and then you go from the 1 stop, take to the 7 stop, and then notice that bus 1 has a stop as 7 as well. So you can get on the bus 1 from the 7 stop and then get to the stop 6, basically. And then the best strategy is to take the first stop, first the bus, basically bus 0, to the bus stop 7, and then take the second bus to the bus stop 6. And then that's how you get to the target. And then you need to return the least number of buses that you must take to travel from source to target. So from source 1 to target 6, you travel from bus, you travel the bus, you took a bus 0 and you took a bus 1. That's why the output is 2. And return -1 if it's not possible. And then in the second example here, the source bus is 15, right? And then you need to get to 12. So 15, you can take the 15 bus. So for the 15 bus, you can go to stop 4, 5 or 19 basically. If you go to 4, 5, 4 doesn't have any way to get to 12, and 5 doesn't either, and 19 doesn't have any way to get to 12, because get to 12 you need to have 9 or 13, so it's impossible to get there. That's why you return -1 in this case. And here are some constraints here. And in the last 6 months, Uber asked this question 88 times. So this is like a must know how to solve question if you want to try to interview for Uber. It's when you look at it, it's a little confusing, but if you think of as a graph problem, it's probably easier for you to understand. So basically, you see that the routes array that I give you here, it contains stop and the bus, right? And the bus is 0, bus 1, it contains all these stops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to write a graph, and the graph will contain the stop and the bus. So the stop will be 1, and then 1 is in bus 0, right? And then 2 is in bus 0, 7 is in bus 0 too, and then 3 is in bus 1, 6 is in bus 1, and 7 I already have it. So besides bus 0, and I'm also going to add a bus 1 here. Basically, that's going to how it looks. Maybe this will be easier for you to imagine how it looks. For you to get to bus from 0, from stop 1 to target 6, and this is obviously a graph question that can be solved by breadth search. If you want to do breadth search, there will be a queue. So there are a couple of things that I want to have a visit set for the stop, and also for the bus, to keep track of the bus and the stop that I have already visited, so I won't visit the same one again. And then what I'm gonna do is, while there's queue, I'm gonna append the source node and the result to the queue first. Appended them first, and I'm not gonna write exactly what it is, but just I'm gonna append the source node basically is 1, and the result, I'm gonna set the result basically how many buses that I need to take as 1, as 0 here, because I don't take any buses at the beginning, right? And then so I'm gonna append this to the queue, and the base condition is that when I pop from the queue, eventually in the end, if I pop the node, the stop is 6, then that means I already found the answer. Then I can find the result at the same time. So how I do the breadth search is that for every single bus in the graph that I wrote, I'm gonna add the bus, basically bus 0, to the visit set first, right? And when I add the bus 0 to the visit set, and I'm gonna visit every single stop in this included in the bus routes, basically their neighbors. So when I visit bus 0, I'm also gonna visit bus 1, bus 2, and bus 7. And when I visit the neighbors, what I'm gonna do is, if I already visit them, I'm gonna add a stop to the visit set as well, to make sure that I don't go into an infinite loop and I won't visit them again. But at the same time, when I visit these stops in the same bus, I'm gonna add the result value that I set here to add a 1. The reason I need to add a 1 is every time I add a 1, that means I took on a new bus, right? That's why I need to add a 1 here. And then I'm going to continue to pop every single one from the queue. And then so you will be able to see, I will pop. So for the bus 0 has nothing to do with that, but I'm going to pop the stop and the result. So I'm going to pop the 1, pop the 2, and I'm also going to pop the 7. But when I pop the 7, because 7 also belongs to bus 1, so I'm going to add the bus 1 to the visit set as well. After I added the bus 1 to the visit set, I can visit all the stop in bus 1, and I'm going to visit the bus, so the stop 3, and I'm gonna add one more result, and that will be 3, and then I'm gonna add a stop 6, and the result will be 2, because this is a different layer. Every single time when you add a new layer, basically the next bus, the result needs to add a 1. That's how you do the breadth search, and I'm gonna continue to pop from the queue. And when I pop from the queue, if the stop that I popped equals to the target we're looking for, I'm just gonna pop out the result. I hope this is clear to you, and I'm going to show you how to do this in code. So basically, at the beginning, if the source node is already equal to the target, right, then we don't need to do anything. So it's basically, you don't need to take any buses. That's what it is. So I'm just going to write a graph here, and I'm going to say default dict, and I'm going to use set here, and that's basically the default dict that I'm going to write. And so for the bus and the stops in enumerate, I'm going to enumerate the routes, and the routes, basically, this is for bus 0, and then this is for bus 1, right? That's why I want to enumerate it. And when I enumerate it, I want to say for stop in stops. So for every single stop inside of the stops, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say graph graph stop. I'm gonna append every single graph add, and I'm gonna add every single bus into the list here. Basically is this, because it's a visit set that I use, that's why I append them into the like basically every single stop I'm gonna add the bus there. That's what I do for the graph. And after I write a graph, I'm gonna assign a queue first. So I'm gonna use the queue here, and I'm gonna append two value. Basically, one is the source, and the other one is the result, basically 0 in this case. And then I'm gonna start. I'm gonna also have a stop visit. So for a set to stop to store the stop visit and a bus visit to store the bus and the stop that I have visited already. And then I'm gonna write the breadth search. Basically, while queue, I'm gonna start popping from the queue, right? So when I'm popping, the stop and also the result is equal to queue dot pop left. I'm gonna start popping from the left side of the queue, and if the stop equals to target, when that was the scenario that I mentioned to you in the end, I'm just gonna start popping from the stop and the result. And if the stop that I pop is already equal to the target, that's the base condition, and I'm just gonna return the result. Otherwise, I'm just gonna say for bus in graph stop, if I'm gonna visit all the buses, if bus not in bus visit, the visit set I said before, I'm gonna add them to the visit set. Bus visit dot add. So I'm gonna first add a bus 0, right? Because that's the bus that I want to visit. And after I visit the bus, I'm gonna visit every single stop that included in this bus. Basically, for stop in routes bus here, and every single bus then in the for the stop. If stop not in stop visit, if I have not visited the stop yet, I'm gonna stop visit dot add. I'm gonna add the stop to the visit set. And also at the same time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna append the queue to append the stop to the queue as well, so that I can start popping it. But remember, every single time when you visit a new bus, you will need to have the result +1. Because if you're not +1, you won't know that you are actually visiting a new bus here. And then in the end, after the entire queue, if you can't find the answer that you're looking for, you're just gonna return -1. So that's basically the third case scenario, that it's impossible to reach each other. Yep, that's basically all the code. Let's see. Yep. If you think this is helpful, please like my video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you with more Leetcode questions soon. Bye bye.